Testing. Good. All right, let's continue on. And so we got there's a number of different things that we could try to flush out at this point. One is when we go to the page, we don't see our current personal number. We just see a 0, right? So if I reload the page, I'm just going to see a 0, and we're just going to overwrite it here, right? So that'll turn into a 3 in the data store. So what we want to do is retrieve the number at page load time and insert it into the document and use that as our starting point. So we've got this app user class, and we've got save number. We're going to need something like maybe read number. Right? Let's go ahead and do that. And I'm going to take that space out of there. So we're going to need to pull the number out of the data store. So this time we'll start with the model. Last time we started with the JavaScript, and we looked at the web XML file, and there's a number of things that we need to take care of, and which one you do first is just a matter of preference, I think. So let's copy that. So now let's modify that code to make it maybe a read number. It's not really read number that we need. It's really it's get the app user. It's find the app user. Look at that. And then the app user has in it the number. I mean, we could do it like that, or else we could do get number. Maybe that's the way we're doing. We're going down that route. We are going down that route, and but we're going to end up duplicating code here. This is see here we needed to look up this this entity here. So we're going to end up duplicating that code. Let me undo that thing right there. This is the read number, and then read number would then return a string, right, for the number. So one way to do it. Pass in the user ID. Yeah, we're just kind of blindly going on. We don't have a system design, by the way, right? We're just trying to learn how to do this stuff, and we really haven't figured out an architecture. And I think that for when you're learning something like this, in my opinion, is we can't just sit down and map out an architecture because we don't even know what the data store is or entities. And so really, this is what I'm showing you is a kind of a style of learning to learn something new about an API and a cloud computing platform and so on. It's not necessarily how you would solve a real problem. This is how to learn the technology. When you go to solve a real problem, you're going to need to have a specification. You need to have a requirements document. Just our statement of the problem on our web page is good, but then we would have a design document and so on, and we're skipping that step because this is an exercise. This is like a learning exercise. So we're just sort of winging it, going along the way. And then we're talking about issues as we go along. But after you become a skilled developer, then you might have patterns that your company or your team is following, and then you can generate a design early on and follow your design. So you would use a different kind of process, I think, to solve the problem. That's enough on that. Okay. So let's go ahead and just follow our noses here. So here's the read number. Now they both share this common code where we need to get the entity. So I want to create a private static method here, and private static method, and it returns an app user object. And I'm going to say find, and it'll take a user ID. Probably throws an exception. No, let's not throw an exception. So we grab this code here. There it is. So we want to find this, we're defining find here. I don't know why it's giving us an error. And what's that?
Yeah, it's giving me that error too. It's because it wants you to return an app user. And you have
Yeah, we've got to return the app user. Yeah, there we go. All right, so we get the data store here, and data store service. We construct a key. Here's the entity. Actually, do we want to return an app user? I think what we can do is simply return an entity. Let's do it like that. And we could do it the other way too, actually. It doesn't matter. So this is an internal helper method. We make it private. This is going to be static. And so basically we just return the entity here. And we may have had to create it here. So if it wasn't in the data store, then we're going to create it there. And now we'll use it here. This entity. Find, and this is the user ID string. There we go. And so once we get the entity, we can set the property and then store it. Of course, we need that business there. You know, I think we can get this data store reference once and for all when the class initializes. I'm not going to do that now. So it opens up issues that I don't want to talk about. So once again, this is the code we're reusing here. We're just calling find, or a private method. There it is. And this is read number. And we're going to do something like this. We're going to get a property called number. I'm just going to guess it looks like that. It's going the opposite direction. And so once we find the user, find the entity user, the user entity, I guess. This property probably returns a type object. I'm going to cast it to a string. And then we're going to return that. There it is. Got 20 minutes to go. What's this say here? We're not even using the data store. See that nice warning there? So you should always read those warnings. We just find the entity, pull out the number property, and return that. You know, maybe this is not really typical of what you would normally see. Normally, you'd maybe return an app user. Maybe the controller would use that app user and pass it to the JSP or something. Actually, pass it to the. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not going to get into that. But anyway, here's the. This is that read numbers working. And so let's go to this here. That means when the page loads, we're going to get the admin message, and we're going to get the personal number, and later we'll get the the system-wide number as well. Now we could send separate requests for all of those, but that's a lot of work to do. And why not just get everything all at once? When the page loads. In fact, we could embed everything directly in the JSP, and just always return the JSP as well. But I'm showing a technique where that JSP could be cached on could generate HTML that is cached on the client side, so that you would open up your say your HTML file from the browser cache, and then that would initialize by running an AJAX method and extracting that data from the server. So that's kind of the design I had in mind here. Although I'm sure that the requests for that JSP file are not being cached, but we could change that if we wanted to. Once again, there's a lot of details that I refer to, talking, but we don't really have time to dig into all of those. But as you continue learning about web development and read and experiment, that you'll see more and more of those details get filled in. So I'm just letting you know that what I'm showing you here is not really production code, okay? But it's moving in the direction of getting to that point. So what we could do here is we could be sloppy and send a separate request to get the number, or else we could somehow change this to something like a page initialization call, and like page init, call it like this, and send all the data that we think is needed for the page initialization. How do you want to do it? I don't know either. That's what I'm asking you. We'll have to flip a coin here. Can we do better than flip a coin? It's a better design to do it this way. Then we don't have to send separate requests.
Let's do it that way then.
Do it this way, yeah. On the other hand, later on, if we happen to need to get just one thing and not the other, then it's nice to have that in there. I think the admin JSP needs to populate its form with the admin message. We're not doing that right now, so we would need to have a different sort of page init for that admin page. Well, we call this home page init, and send everything in there. And here, although the data type is going to have to change, we could send the data type as JSON. It's getting more complicated now. I don't know if we're going to finish in 15 minutes. Did we illustrated this already, didn't we? The JSON data type. Can't remember now. So we would need to construct JSON on the server side and send that. There's some issues involving encoding if we don't want to use a library, I think I sent, I think I had some code on that, and we could grab that. Some in the utility class. Did I put it in here? There's no utility, but I have it up here. In this example here. So in this this utility class here, it's I see we're escaping a string for the purpose of sending a JSON object. And let me see. I think I had it in here. See here, we need to send this message in a JSON format, and we need to escape the special characters like new line and tab and so on. So it's a little tricky to send the data in JSON format. Not sure what to do here.
We can just add another AJAX.
Let's add another AJAX. That's it. Thank you. We got a reason to do it here. There's the get message. All right, let's go ahead and add another AJAX call. Do we even want to do this? I mean, you can sort of see how it would play out, right?
You just do the same thing, just change words.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I need to go into the whole details all over again. Just do the same thing that we did with get message. So I think that it, unless you want to finish it up, maybe we should just finish it up. Yeah, I don't think we need to get into the details. In fact, this whole second session that we started here maybe is nothing new or useful in it, other than the not this, sorry. Other than this change here to this app user class, right? Is that enough for today?
I think so.
I'm going to stop there then.